welcome also back to the table. I think this is the second time we've seen you this week, isn't it?
Thank you, Andrew.
But
Yes,
good
it
to
is.
have you back with us again on development contributions this time.
Excellent. And Tim, to answer your question, I believe that one developer owns a Bentley and rents a plane, and the other developer owns a plane. And there's a little bit of competition between them because they both want to own planes, by the sounds of it.
All right, so on the policy,
Sorry,
happy to hear your
Andrew,
submission.
I'll move forward. My wife would like $10 million for a new library and learning spaces in Shirley. How are we going to afford that one, darling? Is the obvious question. Developer contributions are the obvious answer. With lots of infill housing, there must be lots of money for new civic facilities, along with a rise in rates income to pay for operational costs. So some of us requested the data and then discovered there's holes. Where is Bings Lane? $400,000 worth of developer contributions. Accounting errors seem to be common. We have since raised another request and have been advised that our request will take a little longer to follow it up. My concern is data quality impacts the community's ability to be well informed and ask sensible questions and make rational requests. What I want from a revised policy is to know how developer contributions collected in my area are going to be spent, what a running total of what has been collected in the last LTP term is, what I want to be able to see has been spent historically and compare with others. And I have to scroll down the notes here, sorry people. I would like a clear understanding of what a ward boundary is spending versus collecting. Thank you.
Nice and easy. Anne.
Compliments on your wonderful presentation. They're great.
Thank you, Anne.
Very good. Secondly, you seem to be saying, like a lot of people seem to be saying, is that the DCs that are collected in an area should be spent in an area, yeah?
No, not necessarily, Anne. I do understand that's part of the policy. What I'm saying today is I'd like to know what is collected and then what is spent. Now, I'm sure there are folk in some suburbs who are looking at their suburbs which are beautifully and pristine and are then going, well, actually, we don't need a new park because we've already got a park. That's just one infill division. And they look across the city and can see that there are other places that are in more need. I think it's important to be able to see this data because there are people in other suburbs that are looking and going, you just spend all the money in the CBD for the rich building owners. And how would you know? I've got no idea. As Hayley pointed out, we just don't know. I've summed up all the data and I certainly didn't come up with a figure that Hayley came up from driving around.
All right, I'll take one more question from Aaron.
Yeah, Don, thank you for the presentation and leaving time for the questions. Do you think that community boards should be given that data of what's collected in their ward area and be able to spend a percentage of that on facilities or footpath upgrades or parks in their area?
Aaron, everybody...
So empowering the community boards to work.
Everybody should have the data.
Yep.
Everybody should have good quality data and know what income the council has so that we can go to our community boards. But to answer your obvious question, yes, absolutely, community boards need to have good say because you've got, in my community board, we've got 3 people, a councillor plus 2 community board members, all who are talking to different residents, and they really are the specialist for my area. I don't expect you to understand all about 10 Shirley Road, but I know that Pauline, who is my councillor, will have community board members with her who are much more in touch. I've not spoken with Pauline for a term now, but I have spoken with our board members, and that's why we have board members, isn't it?
Absolutely. So rather than them being made as a metro decision, there should be more local decisions made with the local funds.
Absolutely. The role of metro, I think, is to step in over the above and sometimes say, okay, Aaron, you've collected so much in your area, but you're overspending. So certainly there is a role for the folk at this table as well.
All right, thank you. That brings us to the end of the time.
Andrew.
Thank you for leaving time for questions and for the answers to them. And yeah, good to see you back at the table. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so that now brings us to the end of the first batch of